Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Plenty on a massive Major League Baseball card. NBA slate tonight. Updated numbers for college basketball in the Final Four. And awesome guest. Brian Geltzeiler covers the NBA in 30 minutes. Jeff Seeley, the last tune-up before the Masters. Best bets with analysis in 1 hour. Mike Palman studio in 90 minutes. Matt Euman's coming up in the last hour of today's show. Well, right now, I do have a bet coming up in this Yankees-Mariners game that I'll tell you about, but the Nationals lead the Phillies 5-3 right now. It's in the bottom of the ninth, Pauly, and the Phillies have 2 runners on with 1 out. I'm looking right now at DK, the Phillies to win the game, plus 355. Well, it just moved down to plus 285 now, 50-cent move as we're talking. And they have something cooking here against this Nationals bullpen, which is what they had. Bryce Harper led off the bottom of the 8th with a home run. They had guys on, but the Nationals got out of it. Can they get out of this, or will the Phillies fans be booing yet again today? Who's in more trouble here, Philadelphia or potentially Boston?
No kidding. Bad start for the Red Sox. Also, the Padres can't hit. Sanchez has been so good at home. The team was 19-2. He personally was 8-0 with a 1.88 going back to August of 2024.
How about that?
You get a no decision. They've roughed up the bullpen. You're right about the slow start. I don't think they come back. Nationals up to $5 in play. And we've seen a lot of that today where it's, 23 of the 30 starters today are making their second start. So you also thought Crochet and the Red Sox would bounce back. That hasn't happened. The offense continues to be in a funk. And Gossman was excellent today. Didn't get any help.
Back-to-back starts for him.
Yes, 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. Bullpen gave up a run, so he didn't get the win in there in extra innings as well. And I'm ready to watch Schlittler again and this great Yankee rotation and what they've done. And I'm anxious to get your play. They have tied the 1943 Cardinals for fewest runs allowed through the first 5 games. The record through 6 is 5. Haven't allowed a home run. Raleigh's 3 of 21. Naylor's 1 of 23.
13 Ks, by the way, for Raleigh.
Yeah, right. So a lot of guys aren't hitting, and I'm a little disappointed because Stanton is not in the lineup. 2 for 4 in every game so far.
Yeah.
How about this? Next time, won't happen today, but the next time he's out there, he's trying to become the 4th Yankee ever to have multi-hits in the first 6 games.
All right, so I was on this bet last week to begin. I thought it was way too low. It happened to be a winner for Cam Schlittler. I'm going back to the well again today. In his debut against the Giants, he retired 16 of 17 overall batters. He picked up the win, and he had 8 strikeouts. So last night, Max Fried was brilliant yet again. He struck out 6 Mariners batters over 7 strong innings. Opposing pitchers are 5-1 over their K-prop against the Mariners on the year. Every starter has struck out at least 5 Mariners batters to begin the season. So I played over 5.5 minus 120. That was at BetMGM earlier today. I noticed circa about a half an hour ago, they were like minus 145 on that. I also added over 6.5 at plus 165. I did not ladder beyond that. I did a mini ladder today with Schlittler. M's now for a couple of years, including this year out of the gates, a very high strikeout team. And Schlittler has got incredible stuff. And he's good for getting a bunch of outs. I heard there was a guest on with JVT earlier where he was averaging, more than his outs prop today last year, which was 16.5. He liked that bet. I'm going K's here. And I also think the Mariners are checked that the Yankees might be a little bit cheap overall in the game. However, George Kirby, very solid in his own right.
Yeah.
Good in his first start. He allowed a solo home run in 6 innings. That was it. 2 starts in his career against the Yankees. 3 earned runs overall in 15 innings. That's pretty strong facing this lineup.
Yeah.
Maybe a first 3 under. I'm
Murphy,
hoping nothing happens and we get a bunch of strikeouts in the game, and that's it.
Yeah, sounds about right to me. It's been a great start for the Yankees. And it's amazing that Seattle's 3-3. No one's hitting.
Nobody.
It's been awful how bad they've been.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get there with Marquez yesterday. That was terrible. The Giants roughed him up, and they are now breaking out of it. Should Pavetta be $1.55 today? This game's coming up in 5 minutes as well. Padres, last in average. Last in OPS, second fewest runs, 27th in chase rate. Machado 3 of 18, Bogarts 4 of 20. Starters ERA of almost 6.
Mm-hmm.
Second worst, Miller has pitched once. Giants starting to hit. Hauser was a great story last year. Pavetta, $1.55? I don't think so.
Willie Adames had 4 hits last night, snapped out of his early season slump, including a home run. San Diego starting pitchers have been a major issue this year.
Yeah.
It's a bad combination. They can't hit and they can't get guys out for the most part. So second worst ERA in Major League Baseball with the starters. That number's at 5.57 so far. His opening day against Detroit, 3 innings, 6 runs. More runs allowed in that game, Pauly, than his first 5 starts last year. He was 8-3 with a 2.27 ERA in 17 starts after a Padres loss last year. He was a momentum killer. He was very good in that position. And to your point with Hauser, now he played with a couple of different teams last year. He had a 2.10 ERA in 11 starts in the first half, traded to the Rays, and it ballooned up after that, 4.79 over 10 starts. But if you think that he's kind of maybe a first half type of guy, he can repeat those numbers. The Giants got it going last night. I mean, there's nothing at all to like. Hey, look, it's very early in baseball. I feel like we have to say that for like the first 5 weeks overall. But now we're only like 5 games in. The Padres, it's the worst of both worlds here on this team. They started 14-4 last year, Pauly.
Yep. They haven't been 1-5 since 2018. This is bad.
And that year they lost 96 games overall.
Yes. And the Marlins had no problems today either. How about the Marlins, 5-1? Yeah, again, the better record than the Yankees and Dodgers going back. And
Sandy with a complete game shutout, 93 pitches.
And the White Sox, awful team, been outscored coming into this game 32-7 from the 5th inning on. And that just got worse today after they got blasted, and Smith's got an ERA of 20.
Let me give you some other observations for these guys, because today should have been like opening day. Now, again, you said it, a bunch of guys making their second start overall, and you had a ton of aces with high strikeout numbers on the bump today. The example here, I'll give you a couple. The Miz with Milwaukee, Mizrachi, he threw 94 pitches over 6 innings, struck out 6. So I think any question about early on anyway, this team watching his pitch count can be thrown out the window because he had a pretty high pitch count his first start and struck out a bunch of guys. Same thing happened again today. And the other one that I think is maybe a little bit more alarming, they won today 8-3. Paul Skeens threw 77 pitches. And I will point out that the Opta AI projections at vsin.com, the biggest edge today before first pitch of that game out of any starter going was Paul Skeens over a strikeout number. But he only threw 77 pitches. He was pulled to begin the 6th. He had 5 strikeouts, and that's it. I mean, if you are playing under numbers for his K-prop so far, you're crushing it. Mm-hmm. And are they going to is this going to be the same old Pirates? Where they're going to treat him with kids' gloves and be careful for the first, I don't know, couple weeks, couple months out of the season?
No, I think no.
They can't do that.
No, I think it's just a fluke right now. Yeah, because he's also owned the Reds. But disappointing, he only goes 5, but his career was 4-0 against them. The other one, too, the Brewers are ready to put it on the Rays. And it's unfortunate this game was deep by the time we cracked the mic. Tampa relievers have an ERA of almost 9. And now the Brewers are opening up a can here. 4-2 lead, bottom of the 8th, 2 on, nobody out.
Oh, there you go.
So that's great for in-play moving forward. Tampa Bay's bullpen has been atrocious. Also, the Red Sox have been outscored 32-12 in the last 5 games. 6-2 Astros, bottom of the 7th.
I'm not going to be the guy to overreact, like I said. But it's tough to dig yourself out of these big holes if you begin April with a 1-6 mark, 0-7, 0-8, whatever that is. People will always say, too early, can't write them off. It's like history has shown where teams get off to starts like that, kind of tough.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but there have been some examples, certainly in recent years, where that took place. By the way, that was Griffin Jacks giving up those runs, who has been thought of as one of the best middle relievers or back-end relievers in baseball now for like a year plus running. And his ERA on the year now is 9+ with a 2.5 whip. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's no good. And the Diamondbacks got one immediately off of Skubal. That was another home run by Corbin Carroll, and they lead the Tigers 1-0. They play bottom of the 2nd. How about that? Cruising along last night. And that rookie in his first game for the Diamondbacks goes deep twice, and the Diamondbacks come back to get the win.
Yeah. 3 straight losses now for Detroit. What do you want to do in the Twins game? They're awful in Kansas City, but Joe Ryan owns the Royals. 8-1 with an ERA of 2 in 11 starts, and he's favored on the road against Cameron.
So I do have a play in this game. the Royals are not hitting.
Right.
Like their top 7 batters overall they have a slash line of 182, 261, 263, and their OPS is the worst in Major League Baseball. Their 8 and 9 hitters did all the damage against the Twins in Game 1 of the series.
Yep.
Ryan's numbers are so good, like you said here, against the Royals. However, the Royals are doing one thing really well at the plate. They're not striking out. So I played Ryan under 5.5 Ks at minus 122 earlier today.
Okay.
That was my approach.
All right.
Because he can still be effective, over 6-7 innings, but hopefully in this case only strike out 4 or 5.
No, the Nats blew it.
Did they really?
Oh man,
It's
tied at 5. And Phillies are still batting.
Yeah.
Oh man, whiskey and a revolver.
There you go. That was plus higher than 3-1 when the show started 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. They can still win it. How about the Cubs game? I can't believe there's people there. It feels like 20 degrees. The wind's blowing in 30 miles an hour. The total was 6, and of course it goes over.
Great baseball weather.
It's 5-2 in the bottom of the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fun to play these games in late March and early April in these cold weather spots, isn't it? When you can rely on the weather at all times. Follow the Money, by the way, is brought to you by Profit X. Sign up today, make your first purchase, and earn a bonus of up to $100 in bonus cash. Download the Profit X app and use the code VSINMM. Shohei Ohtani went last night. He right now has the longest active scoreless inning streak going back to last season in all of Major League Baseball at 22 2/3.
This is scary. They're 4-1, and the top of the lineup isn't hitting at all.
Think about that.
Not fair.
We'll discuss tonight's NBA card coming up next. You should have money in your account from teams clinching division titles last night, and VSiN host Nick Whalen made the case for another triple-double tonight. Find out which player next.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. Thanks for watching YouTube TV, listening on SiriusXM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our affiliates across the country. Brian Geltzeiler, Sirius NBA, XM Radio, SiriusXM NBA Radio, going to join us in 15 minutes, talk some association. Tonight, Pauly, we'll begin here with the card. It's a big schedule. The tanking parlay, I think, hits tonight. We'll talk about that. Celtics are playing at the Heat. Boston's laying about 4.5 in this game. Total is 230.5. Boston has owned Miami in recent trips to South Beach.
Right.
7-0 straight up, 6-1 ATS. And I'll give you this from VSiN host Scott Seidenberg. He's been tracking it all year long here on the air and also with his website, betterday.com. Off of a loss for Boston this year, which they are off of against the Hawks. They are 18-6 straight up, 16-8 ATS. Also, the opposing team total after a loss is 18-6 under. The Hawks team total tonight is around 112.5. They just completely clamped down after a loss. Missoula has the attention, and they're awesome defensively in the following game. And this total keeps going up.
I know. History says an under. They continue to play unders. You mentioned the defense, but it's hard with how Miami plays with the pace and how crazy it is. No Powell in this one, but I think the Celtics get the W. And knowing now that Detroit's going to get the 1 seed, they just try. And they got help again. I mean, Knicks fans are furious at that performance again. You know, Von Tobel crossed him off his list. He might be right, how bad the Knicks have been. But trying to lock up this division, great job by Missoula. And I think they'll take out Miami. Hard to get a read on Miami.
Oh, very much so.
They'll look like crap one game and then bounce back and have a good performance. So, but you're right about the ownage and what they've done in South Beach. For the late game, I think we got to be looking at ladders for the alien. And he wants the MVP, and the numbers he's putting up, game in, game out, 41-16 in the last game, a double-double 8 minutes in, almost 2-1 to score 30 points. You can play with it on your app, whatever you're looking at. But how he continues to light up the box score every single game. They're huge favorites. Golden State's got a ton of guys out and injuries. Number one, trying to run down OKC. 26-2 run for the Spurs laying 14, but I think you have to get creative with Wembanyama props here at ladders.
How high would you be willing to go?
Oh, at least 35 points.
Okay.
Which is 5-1.
I think 35 is certainly reasonable, especially based on exactly what you just said there. He wants the MVP. He's playing like it. And the Warriors are without essentially everybody again tonight. They're 14-point favorites here. By the way, the Spurs have done really well in recent games against Golden State, especially on the road.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yep. I think he keeps it going. And this team is playing so well right now. And, again, just look at the game log and what he's doing. Not to mention the blocks, also what he's putting up every single game. It's crazy.
So I'll include that on the tanking parlay, although the Warriors are not tanking. They're just without so many players.
Yeah, right.
So you can go, here are the teams that you want to fade tonight. You want to fade the Wizards. They're catching around 16 against Philadelphia. You want to fade the Bucks at Houston. Rockets, absolutely gargantuan favorites.
Yep.
Fade the Kings at the Raptors. Fade the Grizzlies at home to the Knicks. The Jazz at home to Denver. And then the Spurs-Warriors game.
Right.
So here's the deal. Tom Habistro broke this down at Yahoo Sports. Did you see this?
No.
He separated the teams that are trying versus the teams that are not trying, and he called it the A League versus the B League. And we've never had this before. So the teams that are tanking, he called the B League. And when they're playing teams that are trying from the A League, here are their records going back. The Wizards are 0-20 last 20 against A League teams. They're in action tonight. The Nets are 1-29 last 30. The Kings are 1-23 last 24. They play tonight. Jazz 1-14 last 15. They play tonight. The Grizzlies are 1-17 in their last 18 against teams that are trying. They play tonight. The Mavericks are 2-23 last 25.
Yeah.
The Bucks are 1-12 last 13. The Bulls are 3-17 last 20, but they play the Pacers tonight, so you can't do anything with that game. So all of these teams have been absolutely rock bottom, and they're all playing teams that are actually trying tonight. If you throw the Spurs on the money line parlay against the Warriors, you do have to lay like 65 cents. But $1.65, based on how these, I'm quite confident that's going to hit tonight.
Yep. Absolutely. I looked at it this morning as well. There also are key guys out for these teams.
Yeah.
And they're still laying huge numbers. Like Embiid's not playing, and they're still 14-point favorites. Who was his triple-double? Maxey?
It is not. Nick Whalen, who gave out LeBron James on our show on Monday to hit a triple-double, he did it 7-1. It's Josh Giddey, who I recently played on the show, and it did not come close, but he's betting him around 2-1, in the neighborhood of 2-1 tonight in that Bulls-Pacers game.
That total's moved 3 points. Okay? And tough turnaround. Should we? I know it's been ugly, but was that easy to say now, but should have been on Orlando after the humiliating loss and a 31-0 run? They bounced back and beat the Suns, who were in a tough spot. Now Orlando's on a back-to-back, and the Hawks are laying 2.5 on the road.
So
everything works out for Atlanta for 2 months with the scheduling spot.
I know. So I'll tell you, Jeff Sherman told me this many years ago, who is a big NBA guy and is VP risk management over at the Westgate. Now, this is late in the season, so who knows? But to your point, he always at least looks at the team that got completely humiliated in the previous game, expecting them to be professionals and to bounce back in a big-time way. Even if the shots aren't going in, like the effort's going to be, ramped up a couple notches there. Yep. So, and last night it worked out like that. And, I mean, again, these are grown men. Yes, they're paid, handsomely, but you let the other team go on a 31-0 run. I've never heard of that before in the NBA.
That's right. Are the tickets cashed in your account? Did they grade them?
I still don't have the Pistons cashed yet.
Oh, man.
Sometimes
was that easy or what?
I know.
6-1, it was never in doubt. Because the Cavs got off to the slow start and they never recovered, and Detroit was a freight train. I think their first division title in 18 years. Pistons cashed, Lakers cashed, and the Thunder and Spurs already were there. So weeks ago,
we had the Suns at huge numbers to win that division. The Lakers one did get cashed. I did put a bet on the Lakers on February 28th at -135 here at Circa to win the division. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nearly as much as I wanted to, but they had a limit on how much I could get down. So it is what it is. That one's in the account. For some reason, there was another book in town. It's a national book where I had a division winning bet. It was either last year or 2 years ago, and they didn't pay it out for almost a week. So I don't know how long it's going to take. They probably, some of these books, I guess maybe not, they might wait until the end of the regular season. I have no idea, but it is nice when they actually go there. Okay, that's official. Now let's pay those out right now so we can get that money in And
well,
then
they should, yeah.
Yeah, right.
They should.
So 4 teams have clinched so far.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Hawks are. I haven't even looked at the Southeast yet. Like, what's that number? They have to be a massive favorite to win that thing right now, aren't they? But the game tonight's huge too, because if they lose to the Magic, that will at least keep those other teams alive for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
With
DK doesn't have it up. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
Six
you
teams
got to give it up to the Lakers. What a month! They're on a 15-2 run, and Luka averaged 36 a game.
600 points in the month.
Yeah, he was an assassin.
Yep.
What he's doing, incredible job. And they figured this out offensively, and it's a big opportunity tomorrow, and it's a big, to see where you're at game. They go to OKC and they play them twice before the season's over. So, great job trying to lock down the 3 seed. Got the division in a 15-2 run.
So you're not going to play the team just clinched their division, bet against them?
No.
Opportunity?
Not with that, no.
I don't
That's
think
just
that one,
baseball.
I don't
Yes.
think it qualifies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Or it might mean like if they clinched and they locked in a seed at the same time, then it'd be like, okay, well, you want to bet against that team.
Right.
But I think they also want to probably show Oklahoma City something as well. Like if they meet in the postseason, like, hey guys, like we're for real.
It's a rare one tonight too, and I know you have more action in the John Wick movie, but we have a $5 favorite in hockey tonight. Isn't this crazy? And I love the article up on vsin.com, all the different ways Jonathan Davis is trying to get some plus money out of this.
Yeah.
Isn't this something? Like Colorado to score 5 minutes in, Colorado team total first goal, first period.
Yeah,
multiple guys to get shots on goal and various points and everything.
Well, how about this? Are you surprised at this number? Tonight is the 13th game this year. They're at least a $3 favorite.
I'm not surprised by that.
Okay, it's also the 4th game where they're at least a $4 favorite.
Okay.
9-3 on the puck line when they're at least a $3 favorite.
Yeah.
3-0 is a $4 favorite, outscoring their opponents 20-5. 2+ first period goals in all 3 games when they're at least a $4 favorite. And they, as you said, scored within the first 5 minutes every single time.
Yeah.
You had a beautiful breakdown on the website.
Look
today.
at a Calgary game, 5 goals in the first period. You just want to go over. You just want to go over 1.5 in the first period, or goal in the first 10, goal in the first 5.
You could actually play their team total over 1.5 in the first period.
I'd rather do that.
Yeah,
I think that's plus 160 or something.
The game against Calgary, isn't that the game where they just had 26 shots on goal in the first period?
Yeah.
They come out like maniacs and set the tone.
I'd say goal first 5 and 2 goals or more in the first period, and then over 1.5
on their own.
You can do that too. Follow the Money, brought to you by ProfitX. Masters Week, the perfect time to start. New users get a sign-up bonus of $100 in bonus cash. Promo code VSINMM. And ProfitX is dropping their Masters of Your Domain contest. That's beautiful. I'm out of the contest. Make one play of $50 or more on any Masters market, win or lose. Get a $1,000 golf prize of your choice, a $1,000 round of golf, a $1,000 club of your choice, or a gift card. Win or lose on your play, you're still in the running. Code VSINMM. Download ProfitX today.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Time to hit some NBA here. More NBA. Brian Geltzeiler does a great job covering the league for SiriusXM NBA Radio. You can follow him on X at BGeltz NBA. Brian, thanks for joining us here today on the Progressive Guest Line. How are you?
I'm great, guys. Thrilled to be with both of you. Always love joining you guys.
Back at you. It's been far too long. I know a lot of Knicks fans are already convinced that the season's over with. Do you agree with them?
No, people are insane. What's happening with Knicks fans and media? All right, you lost 3 games in a row to Charlotte's playing great. You went in their building. They outran you. You played against OKC, and quite frankly, until a fourth quarter offensive drought, they were right there with them the whole way. And essentially what beat them in that fourth quarter drought was the best player in the sport got hot, and next thing you know, you were done. And then last night against Houston, you laid an egg on a road trip. I think sometimes what happens, fans live and die so much, and Knicks fans are so passionate that every single game, it's 82 games in a season, and you got to get to the playoffs. I know there's a chemistry thing that's goofy. I'll be the first one to tell you that Karl Anthony Towns doesn't touch the ball close to as much as he should touch the ball on this team. It's a deeper team than last year. Not as well-coached a team, but I like Mike Brown, and I think it still is a well-coached team. You just don't have Tom there, per se. They're still 6th in the league in defense and 3rd in the league in offense, and they still can beat anybody in the Eastern Conference. I just don't know why why these 3 games have changed all that much, except for the fact that Josh Hart's been fighting with Stephen A. Smith, and now Stephen A. Smith looks right and Josh Hart looks wrong. And so, I mean, from that standpoint, I think the sky is not falling for the New York Knicks. And if they come out and look good early in the playoffs, the whole world's going to forget about this little 3-game losing streak. I think everybody's panicking in Knickland far too much right now.
Do you have more confidence in the Knicks or the Pistons?
Depends. If Cade Cunningham is on the floor, I have a little bit more confidence in the Pistons. Only because the Pistons are an excellent defensive basketball team. The Pistons have, short of Oklahoma City, they have the best defensive personnel in the league. They go 7 deep with high-level defenders when they have Cade Cunningham. If they don't have Cade Cunningham, as good as Jenkins has been, as well as he's played, as great as Dern is, and Jalen Dern is a great player, guys. Not a good player, a great player. They just don't have the individual shot making that they need to have. The other thing you got to remember about them is that Cade also guards one of the better wing players on the other team, and is an above average defender, a good defensive player. So you lose something on both ends of the floor, but you lose your hub on the offensive end of the floor and the guy that everything runs through. But I'll tell you what Detroit's done to the Knicks this season. A lot of times we'll say, hey, what happens in the regular season is meaningless going into the playoffs. I think in this particular matchup, if these two teams end up playing in a series, which probably would be a conference final if the two of them get there, I think that Detroit has gained a little bit of a mental edge back with the decisiveness of how they beat New York in the 3 meetings this year that the Knicks don't have from last year's playoff win, whereas even though it was only in 6 games, the margins were pretty thin, and the Knicks were a very generous non-call in the corner away from a Tim Hardaway 3 and a Josh Hart foul from that series going to 7.
Okay, that's the East. I thought you had an excellent tweet the other day with the game where SGA shot 25 free throws in the win against Detroit. You said the biggest key to the West in the conference finals, the whistle that OKC gets. Can you expand on your answer? I completely agree.
Absolutely. I would say there is definitely 2 teams that could beat Oklahoma City if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not living on the free throw line. Now, I will say this. I don't think any of this has to do with Oklahoma City, best team in the league. This is the best player in the league. I don't think this is about favorable whistles as much as about the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has figured out a subtle way to game the system with these push-offs that look like shoulder leans. Because he'll lean in with his shoulder and he'll get a forearm off, and a lot of times he'll do it going left. So he pushes off with the right forearm and gets the right hand back to the ball so quickly for that fade left jumper he's so good at that it looks like a shoulder, but it's actually a forearm push-off. And he's been able to game the system so much and have those be fouls that the contact looks like the defensive player is initiating the contact, but it's all Shai. And the refs are not hip to it yet. They're not getting hip to it. He can do it going both ways. That's why I thought the other night in that overtime win that Oklahoma City had against Detroit, I thought that offensive foul on him was a very, very important call. And you would hope that referees kind of take a look at that. Shai's initiating a lot of contact that should be at best no calls. He's getting foul calls on him, and a lot of them are offensive fouls. And I think how he is officiated and how refs look at this, and listen, we know this. Phil Jackson used to stand in front of media contingents, guys, and take fines intentionally to try to point things out to referees to get a competitive advantage. The more other teams can rail publicly against the whistle that Shai gets and be specific about it, the more I think the refs are going to pay attention. I think we're going to get back to some of that dynamic. Be very interesting for me to see in playoff series, San Antonio and Mitch Johnson, David Adelman in Denver, and even in a first-round series, depending upon who could, maybe it's Ty Lue and the Clippers that draws OKC. How they point out the way Shai is officiated on a public level, because I do think that is going to affect things going forward if Shai's marching to the free throw line 20 and 25 times.
Very strong. Brian, do you have a vote for awards?
I do.
Can you share with us? Are you going to vote for him for the MVP, you think?
I am. Listen, something would have to drastically change between now and then. It's right now for me, it's between him and Victor Wembanyama, and I say that with all due respect to Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic, which pretty much any other year would both are having MVP caliber seasons. But I think what Shai has been able to do consistency-wise, I think the one thing you have to remember about SGA is how many missed games to injury this team has had this year and how little they've been together as a full unit, and how when it comes to the record, it flat out hasn't mattered. And I think that's important to note with everything. The thing about Wemby, and I love Wemby, and he's as good a defensive player as maybe we've seen in our lifetime, and he's an offensive force, and he will have his fair share of MVPs. But when you look at the minutes played, the minutes he's played versus the minutes that SGA has played, there's a wide gap there. And I think you have to acknowledge that in terms of the impact on winning that they've both had. So, yeah, I'm leaning into SGA for the award.
Do you think there's a big gap between Knipple and Cooper Flagg?
I think there is a decent, big, maybe not, but meaningful. Yeah. I think there is a meaningful gap between those two. I think right now what we've seen out of Knipple is, again, I go back to that term of impacting on winning, but he's been able to pull this group together in a way that no one really has. LaMelo Ball trusts him. I don't know that I've seen LaMelo Ball trust a teammate in his entire career up till this year with Knipple. You watch how comfortable Brandon Miller is with him. Everybody tells the story about, Khan's mom in Milwaukee making fajitas for 29 people. But she had the whole team and the staff and everybody to their house. But stuff like that matters. Khan's a really good dude, comfortable in his own skin, a true gym rat and a true baller, and his whole attitude, his calmness, all of it has had a ripple effect on this entire Charlotte team. And I know for the most part, we don't, look at winning as an important aspect for Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flagg's a fantastic player, and he's going to be a fantastic player. But I think you would cheat Knipple if you don't vote for him for Rookie of the Year, just because of the massive impact he's had on the turnaround that this team has made.
Great answer. Brian Geltzeiler is our guest. He's on the Progressive Guest Line, SiriusXM NBA Radio, at BGeltzNBA. So you were saying that if SGA doesn't live at the free throw line, there are two teams, and then you mentioned the Spurs and the Nuggets, and then even the Clippers potentially in a 1-8 matchup. In about 2 minutes here, you didn't mention the Lakers. Are you not buying them at all as a contender?
I can't not buy them as contenders because they've proven differently to me recently. They've beaten a bunch of good teams. Here's the thing about the Lakers. Their defense has been excellent lately. Are they going to be able to sustain that level of defense over 4 series against 4 really good teams? Now, again, if they draw Houston in the first round, you don't have to play such tough defense against Houston because Houston's offense, last night against the Knicks notwithstanding, their offense out of sight of Kevin Durant's not wonderful. So I think that becomes a very important draw if the Lakers are going to advance. I just don't know that I see the Lakers against a high-powered Denver offense, against the San Antonio offense with those 3 guards plus Wemby, and, of course, with what Oklahoma City can do with Jalen Williams being back and A.J. Mitchell emerging. I just don't know that they have enough good individual defenders to sustain that for a long playoff. With all that said, I didn't think they'd be here right now, guys, in the 3 seed. They're proving me wrong, and I give them all the credit in the world. They're playing fantastic. So, man, could I be sleeping on the Lakers a little bit? I could be. It's just intellectually, it's hard for me to believe they're going to be able to play the level of defense they need to play for the sustained period of time to come out of the Western Conference.
Hey, Brian, that was an excellent spot. Thanks so much for catching up and taking some time to join us on the program today.
Always my pleasure, guys. Let's do it again soon. Take care.
Brian Geltzeiler, Progressive Guest Line, SiriusXM NBA host. Follow him on X at BGeltzNBA.
Well, I'm glad somebody said it. The Mavs have 24 wins. They set a franchise record home losing streak.
Right.
That's
now back-to-back guests. There are a lot of people who vote on this award. Back-to-back guests on this show 2 days in a row saying Knipple over Flagg. Yesterday, Henry Abbott said not even close.
I think he's right. Replay that coming up. Masters Week, perfect time to get on ProfitX. New users get a sign-up bonus of $100 in bonus cash. Get started. Promo code VSINMM. Masters of your domain contest. You can win a $1,000 round of golf, a club, or a gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're still in the running. Get the app now, code VSINMM. VSINMM's your code.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, the Pistons and the Lakers joined the Thunder and Spurs as division winners. Mitch got the Pistons at 6-1. We gave out plus 450. That was easy. And a great win last night. Won a season for the Pistons. And the Lakers have won 15 of 17 as they get it done.
How about that angle again last night with Detroit? Like, that can be a thing for a full
That's
year.
right. Back-to-back, yeah.
12 and 2 straight up now in a back-to-back?
Yeah.
Damn.
Cardinals plus 130, A's plus 135 in baseball. NBA Hornets 16 up to 18.5, crushed the Nets, and the Bucks from 5 down to 2, one in a rout. Hockey, Panthers plus 160, Canadians plus 150, and the Pittsburgh Penguins 13-1 run overall, goal in the first 10. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friend. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Let's go to Augusta a week early. And always, I'll give you $20. What are you going to go with? I can get a club, a ham and cheese on rye, 2 bottles of water, and 2 cookies, and I have money left. Still got $3 left. Can you believe that? Look at these prices.
Okay, well, I skipped the egg salad because I can't eat that.
You don't want that, no.
I would probably do the pork barbecue for sure, a Masters Club. I'm a big coffee guy, so if they have, is it iced coffee? Probably not. I'll go with that. You want a chicken biscuit, Paul? I'm not even close to $20 yet.
I don't even see the chicken biscuit.
It's on the right.
I saw the chocolate
breakfast
chunk
so
cookie.
early.
Oh, I missed the breakfast. They even have Advil and Aleve on the menu for 75 cents. Sure, you get a headache.
75 cents?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, first of all, I got to get the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. That's absolutely got to happen.
I'd rather have the chocolate chunk cookie, but
well, that's fine.
yeah. But the prices again, it's $1.50.
You can have 3 of each.
Yes, you can.
Whatever. I'm trying to check out the entire thing.
Yeah.
Domestic beer's $5. Where can you go anymore to get? Or an import's $5. You're looking at 10, 11, $12 a pop, no matter what now for a beer.
You know what the best part of the Masters is? And Butch Harmon told this to me a long time ago. If there's any get in the hole on a par 5, par 4 tee shot or a baba booey or mashed potatoes, they kick you out.
Good.
That is something.
Good. By the way, we have a surprise coming next week for the Masters. I'm going to leave it at that. I was informed of this yesterday.
All right.
It's a very cool thing.
Lose some. Raptors from 6 down to 3. No good there. Couple lose some videos. Oh, boy. When you leave the dogs at home, sometimes... Look at this. He's proud of it. He took apart the couch, and he's like...
He's planting his flag on it.
Right. He's like, hey, guys, look what I did. Oh, you were gone. He ripped apart the bed. There's stuff everywhere. Tail wagging. Hey, guys, welcome back. Check it out. Look at my masterpiece here. Huh? Aren't you proud of me?
What is your reaction to that when you walk down the stairs?
Yeah. It's like, well, so be it. We learn our lesson.
Right?
That one's okay. That I can deal with. This one is tough. How about the next one? He tore into the couch. He's inside the couch. He made a big hole and ate through it. Look what he did to the couch.
Oh, the whole thing is just right.
And I see in a corner, there's like a 12-pack of Cokie. He ate through that. There's stuff everywhere. He got in the garbage.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he ripped up the couch and everything. Look at he's just like, okay, hiding his head in shame. He goes into the couch.
Was that wrong?
Oh.
Should I not have done that?
Oh, man. Oh, brutal. Bad beats just happened. Nats led 5-3 in the 9th. Phillies walk it off 6-5 and won a doozy in hockey. Islanders and Sabres, the total was 6. 3 goals in the last 3 minutes. The Islanders scored with 1 second left. 4-3 final.
Why not?
Founded in 2011. Jeff and the crew awesome at Sharp Plays. 15 straight years of winning, all documented. Records and logs posted. When they move, books take notice. Great sources. AI tools. Trusted insider intelligence. Identifying price value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, and feared. Get ready for the Masters and start winning with them at sharpplays.com. Give them a follow and join. Been with Follow the Money since day one. Sharpplays.com.
You have some incredible numbers here with like hot and trendy teams in the NHL.
Yep. Well, they've been with us a long time as well. Thanks to Ian Duncan and Chris Otto. Goal in the first 10 at home. Devils 7 in a row. Penguins 7 in a row. Montreal 10 of 11. Seattle 16 of 18. Dallas 7 of 8. On the road, Rangers 12 of 13. Penguins 9 of 10. Sharks 11 of 13. Overall, Pittsburgh 13 of 14. Utah 7 and 1. Carolina 9 and 2. Boston number 1 ROI, 15 units. Buffalo what a story. About time. They're going to end the drought.
First team in the East to 100 points.
Buffalo 14 units. Sharks 11 units. Then Montreal and the Ducks. See if they can hold off Edmonton. Vancouver, you're down almost 28 units. Vegas, down 19 units.
Oh, you have to be down.
Still going to be a playoff team, though. But it's...
Unless they have, like, the biggest coach bump in recent memory, like in any sport, how are they going to do damage in the West?
They might play the Oilers right off the bat.
I know. Do they just somehow, do the Golden Knights flip a switch? Like, how does that happen with this team? I don't think they have a flip to switch.
What a difference a year makes. Kings down 18 units, Rangers down 14 units, and the Jets, who were the 1 seed last year, down 13 units. Some ROI for you.
All right. Diamondbacks are going to lead going to the bottom of the 5th, so they won that bet. Gallon over Skubal right now. It's 1-0. Both teams have 3 hits. Gallon dealing. Could this be a thing again this year? Remember, for a 2 or 3 year stretch, one of the things that we talk about all the time is Zach Gallen specifically at home when he's starting for the Diamondbacks has to be worth a look. And today, so far, so good. And I don't have the score on the TV right now. I can't see.
What do you want?
I think the Yankees got one early against the Mariners, didn't they?
Rice doubled. It's 1-0, bottom of the 3rd.
Okay, all right.
Schlittler dealing, 3 strikeouts, bottom of the 3rd.
And ring him up for another one. I think he's got 4 now. Ooh, is that going to be challenged?
ABS?
That might be. Did we go to the ABS? Oh, you didn't call it, I don't think. Huh. Right now, the scoreboard, by the way, Padres on top of the Giants, 1-0.
He struck him out. You're right.
Okay. Pavetta dealing.
That's 4 strikeouts for Cam.
Oh, he's got 4.
That's 4.
Good. Let's
One
get
out in the 3rd.
What do I need? I need at least 2 more.
Pavetta dealing as well. 4 strikeouts, top of the 3rd. 1-0 Friars.
So, what's going to happen with the Yankees? God, I hate to do this. It's only April 1st.
If this pitching continues?
Well, once they get Garrett Cole, once they get Carlos Rodon, and once Aaron Judge turns into Aaron Judge.
Well, how about what Stanton's doing? That's
I know that, yeah.
Stanton's been money. It's incredible.
It's one weekend. I don't want to overreact, but
it's going to be great.
You know, this is, I think you can compare like the beginning of almost any sport to each other. You and I were having this text conversation with Steve Cohen, who is dynamite behind the scenes here at VSiN. He's an Arizona grad.
Damn right.
And he was talking about getting on Arizona earlier this year. And we had all back and forth. Like, I watched the Florida game. That was the first game of the year. But I never once thought I need to bet Arizona to win the national title. Even when they were playing super well, like in the middle to late November, I never thought, well, you know what? They look so good every game that I think they can actually do it this year. Because in my brain, I just had, well, it's way too early. And number 2, we've seen this before with Tommy Lloyd. And as Steve pointed out, he's like, well, here's the thing. They have not had this much talent overall. Like the guys that they have that are beefy, down low, big dudes across the board, like he hasn't had that on a team. So they were, and we got a great email from Gordon in Oregon, who comes to Circa all the time. Boyd/FanDuel had Arizona 27-1 in late November. The Westgate had 30 or higher on Arizona to win it all spring, all summer of last year. And then probably early on, too, when they won a game against Florida. But I don't want to get completely nuts. How about you? I'm talking now about like baseball teams that get, you know.
Well, I mean, they if the pitching continues, it's just watch out because you know you're right because Judge is going to get it going. He only has 3 hits. Red Sox lose; they're 1-5.
Yeah,
another loss for Boston. So it's scary what they're doing, and you're going to set a record here. They've tied the 43 Cardinals, as I mentioned, and their record through 6 games is 5. So they've only allowed 3 runs, and he just mowed through the order. 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th, 1-0. And the Mariners aren't hitting. With those guys also coming back, it's scary.
I know. I will give you one example of me probably overreacting like a madman. And I looked around yesterday before he made his second start of the year. But here you go. Have all the fun in the world ripping this. I did get down on Jose Soriano, Angel starter, 100-1 to win the Cy Young last night. Dominant for the second straight game, throwing 99 miles an hour.
All right.
If he could ever eliminate the walks, there's an angle here where I think, look, I mean, it's 100-1. He should probably be higher than that. I love the guy's ceiling, as we talked about yesterday before that start against the Cubs. He's also got kind of a low floor because of his command issues. But if he could ever eliminate those walks, that guy is ridiculous. Am I burning money?
All right.
Talk to me in 3 weeks to 2 months, whatever that time frame might be. Very well could be. One more stop on the PGA Tour before Masters Week, and we'll get analysis with best bets from Jeff Seeley coming up. He'll give you his keys of the course, and he has an interesting look at the top of the board this week. Find out what that is coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.